everyone, welcome to this session, and in this session we'll cover the topic basics of Python. So why we are going to study about the Python, like these days it is very popular programming language, and grasping it is very easy, and it is easy to understand and easy to learn also. So let's get started and see why they are saying that it is easy and how to execute it easily. So here we are using the platform which is an online platform, that is a Google Colab, and we'll check how to run the simple code on Google Colab of Python programming. So let's get started. So we'll move towards the Google Colab. So here I have created one Python notebook. So that's why the extension of this particular notebook is IPYNB, which is Python notebook. So here we will cover the basics of Python, what are the different kind of variables, how to start with simple coding in Python. So let's get started. So here it's I have already told you that it is a very simple language. It is easily understandable. It is a high level language, and it is also a cross platform language. So if you are making a program in on Linux, and if you want to execute on Windows, it can be possible to easily execute that program. So why? Because it is a cross platform language, so it is easily executable at different platforms. So moving forward, why we are studying Python, you can see over there, this is the current index of this TIOBE index till October 2022. Here you can see that till October 2022, Python is on the top, and the rating of the Python programming language is 17.08%. Which moved up 5%, or around 6% moved up. And on second there's a C programming language, and on third it is Java programming language, and so on. So Python is on the top, and it is used by most of the developers or the programmers for programming things. So that's why we are moving towards Python and learning Python. So this particular video is not about how to install the Python on your system, on your computer, because it will take a lot of time to check the steps, to follow one by one step to install it on your computer. So you can refer this particular document. I have mentioned this particular link in the description bar so that you can check it out. So this is the python.org. There is a documentation of python.org. They have mentioned the installation procedure, step-by-step installation procedure, which you can follow to install it on your system. So we just skip that particular step. So let's take a look how to install or how to check Python on Google Colab. So for checking Python, whether it is there or not, obviously it is inbuilt there. So you can check it by exclamatory sign in Python. I just execute it one by one each cell so that you can easily understand how it is going through. So let's get started with it. Initially it will take a little bit of time because it is connecting, right? It is there, it is mentioning that the system is connecting and initializing, and after initializing it will start executing each and every cell without taking much time. So here in this particular platform we are using virtual memory, we are using GPU. We can use GPU over here, virtual GPU over here. So it is easy to execute your program on Google Colab. So what it is saying, you can see over here the current the Python version that this particular platform it is using is 3.8.16. okay. So by default from December 7 2022 the version is 3.8.16. okay. So here you can see it is still executing, and the cursor is blinking over here after now what is these three you can say that greater than signs, these we call it as interactive shell. So it means that Python can be executed on interactive shell as well as on any platform, like supportable platform where you can execute it. Like we have different platforms like Anaconda, like PyTorch, and different IDEs we have where we can execute the Python. Other than that, the other way to execute the Python is you can execute it on the interactive shell. It means when you have a command prompt on your system, you just type Python, it will initiate Python, and after that it will show these three types of greater than signs, which means it is a interactive shell. So here what you can, so you can do a simple task, like I want to add two numbers, so I just write it down, 2 plus 3. So it is giving me the answers. Like I said, a is equals to 10, so it assigned the value 10, and then after I just want to print a, so I just write it over here, a, so it gives me the value of a as 10. So you can perform a simple sort of programming over here, or you can perform more than that also, but in the interactive shell, while writing a big program, if it creates an error, you have to write down the whole program again, so it will be a issue in this interactive shell. So that's why we move towards these IDEs and editors to write our program. So just I want to quit from here, I want to just exit out from here, so I have to write down quit function. So after writing the quit function, you can see that this cell is completely executed. I can move towards the next cell. So next command which is here is Python version, to check how to check the current version of the Python which on which we are working. So again, likewise, I have to check the Python. After Python, I have to write it down hyphens, 2 hyphens, and version. So if I have to mention it, this will give me the current currently on which I am working with, that version to me. So first of all, before executing the programs of the Python, we should know who developed the Python. Python was developed by Guido van Rossum in around 18 months. It is a very big team of many scientists or developers who developed this particular programming language. So he's the one. You can check his photograph on Google. You can Google it, who is Guido van Rossum. Now next, moving towards simple statements which are important in Python to build a simple program. So first of all is print function. You can see over here, print is a built-in function. Okay, so it's a inbuilt function, and that will just print the message, whatever the message is inside double quotes. So it will print that particular message to you. So let's get started with printing. Hi, I am learning Python. So just give the print command. Under the parentheses, you have to write down hi, I am learning Python within double quotes. So it will give you the message. So whatever the message in whatever the format you want to just write it down inside these double quotes, it will print you as it is. Now next thing is how to assign a value to a particular variable. So before going towards the variable, I just want to tell you what is variable. So variable is an basically when you're assigning a particular value to a variable. So variable is a particular memory location over which you are saving any value. Maybe it is a integer value, or it is a float value, or maybe it is a string value or a character value. So it is the memory location. So it assigns a memory location. So a is a variable where we are assigning the value 15. So how it is, you can see over here how it is different from simple C, because in C, whenever you are going to like initialize any value or assigning any value to a variable, what you have to do, you have to mention like int then a is equals to 0. That means you have to mention the type of the data, then the variable name, and then you initialize the value by using a equal to sign. So in Python it isn't like that. You just mention the variable name a, which is equals to 15. It means is equals to is an assignment operator, and we are assigning the value 15 to a, and Python will automatically judge it as a integer value. So the data type of a is integer. So how to check whether it is an integer or not? Let's take a look. What we are doing over here, we are just assigning the value and printing the value of a. So let's get started with it. It is giving me the answer 15. So the next question is how to come to know that the value of a is the type of a is int. So for that we have used a type function. Just mention type function. Again, it is an inbuilt function, and just mention a over here. So you can see over here the data type of a is int. So automatically when you are assigning the value to a, it will automatically judge from a number that which type of which data type of that particular variable is. So let's move towards the next cell. You can see over here we have assigning a value b 67 to b. And if I want to print the value of b, there are two methods. One, I have told you, like print a and just write it down b. So if you write it down b, it will print you, or it will give you the value 67. So there are two ways to print the value. Now moving towards the identifiers. So what are the Python identifiers? Python identifiers are nothing but a name to identify a variable. So what are the variables? Are the memory location where you are going to store the particular value, but that particular memory location should be identified by some name. That particular name is called identifier. So this b or a underscore b are nothing but the identifiers whom we call it as a variable. Okay, so you can see over here, I just mouse over over a underscore b. They have mentioned first in bracket a variable. So a underscore b is a variable, and whatever the value you are going to assign into it, that particular value is known as a literal. Okay, so 10 is a literal and a underscore b is a variable, and we call it as identifier. That particular name a underscore b, that name is called identifier. Okay, so a Python identifier is a name used to identify a variable, function, class, module, or other objects. So when you are going to define a class, that class should be one name. That particular name we call it as identifier. Similarly, when you're going to define a function, that function should be some sort of name. That name we call it as Python identifier. So there are the rules, like there are the rules for the variables. The same thing is following over here. So there are the rules to define a particular variable, function, class, module, or object. Like when you are going to define any variable name, that should not be any kind of keyword, and it consists of the letters A to Z, from caps also and small caps, small letters also, and you can use underscore as a special variable, followed by 0 or more letters, underscores, and digits 0 to 9. So that is the basic protocol that we have to use to mention the name of any variable or a function or class or a module or an object. But the different thing over here is that you should not start any kind of variable with a numeric value. So you can see a underscore b, it is a very valid variable in which we are assigning the value 10. So if you want to print a underscore b, this gives me the value 10. Now you say over here underscore ab. So underscore ab is also a correct pattern. You can use underscore at the start or even at the end also, but you can study it later that underscore, if we put underscore at the start of the variable, it has some other kind of meaning which you have studied it later. So underscore ab, it is okay to define, and if I want to print underscore ab, that will give me the value 6. It will returning me the value. Now if I set 6a, as I have told you that I haven't we need not to mention the digits at the start, so it is the invalid pattern of the variable. So if I mention 6a is equals to 10, so it is saying that it is an invalid syntax. Okay, so if I say underscore 6a, so now it is okay, because underscore, we can start the variable by underscore. It is underscore 6a, it is equals to 15, and if I want to print, it will give me the answer. So I think you can understand the protocols of defining the variable, and how to define a variable, and how to check the type of a variable. Okay, now next thing which is very important about the Python, it is case sensitive. So if I want to you can check it over here. If I want to take a variable small a and a capital A, both are different variables, and Python will allocate memory, different memory for both the variables. So it is case sensitive. I just want to print a small a, it will give me the answer 10, and capital A, it is 15. Okay, so I think you can understand the basic knowledge of being case sensitive, or you can say that it is a feature of Python, it is case sensitive, and other feature of the Python, it is platform independent, or you can say that cross platform, or it is easy to understandable and easy to learn. So these are the features. We have some other features also, we'll study it meanwhile. So let's get into the reserve keywords. What are the reserve keywords? It means these keywords have its own functionalities and inbuilt functionalities over there. So if you want to check the keywords, you just type it down help, and inside help just write it down keywords in double underscore. So they will give you the keywords in the current version of the Python, whatever the version you are using. So I just mention help keywords. So these are the keywords, and we cannot use these keyword as a variable name. So this is an important thing, that we cannot use these keywords as a variable name. So next thing which is important, now moving forward, variable starts with the letter A to Z, and A to Z, and an underscore followed by the 0 or more letters, underscores, and digits 0 to 9. In the same way, now you see A equals to 10. The same thing which I have told you earlier also. The variable, these are the protocols of the variables. You can see A equals to 10. Now type A to check the data type of A. Now I want to print A, it will give me the value of A. Now I have assigned the value 10.89. It's a floating point value into A, and if I assign the value floating point, I have to check it whether what type it is. Now you can see it is float type. In the same way, if I assign a string value into it, and if I want to check the type of it, you can check it over here. The value of this particular variable A is a string. Okay, the next are the different kind of operators that can be applied on different variables to get some kind of output. Like we have arithmetic operators like plus, minus, multiplication, division, modulus, exponentiation, and floor division. So I think you know about plus, minus, multiplication, division, modulus, and exponentiation, and this particular thing is quite new, which is called floor division. So let's take a look one by one, so that you'll get a clear understanding about these operators. First is addition. That is very simple. Just assign the value, two values to two variables like A equals to 10, B equals to 20, and just want to print the output or the addition sum of these two. So you want to just print A plus B. If you want to print any value of a variable, you need not to mention the double quotes, and if you want to print some message, you have to mention it or enclose it within the double quote. So if I want to print the value of A plus B, so you can see over here I haven't mentioned the double quotes over here, so that's why it prints the value 30. Now after that, you can see over here, I just I'm giving you plus is an operation which is used for summation, but plus is an operation that can be used for some other purpose also. So that's why I'm giving you this both the features of addition together over here. So if you're using plus operator in between the integers, operand are integers, so it will, what it will do, it will give you the summation. And if you're using plus operator in between the two operands, and these two operands are string, then it will concatenate that two strings. So there is a feature, there are two features provided by plus operator. Now plus operator will give you the summation of any two operands, or as well as it will give you the concatenation. So it is performing two tasks, one is summation and other is concatenation. Other than that, you can see that if I have taken one value as an integer and other value as a string, and I'm adding these two, so it will throw an error, because one of both the operand should have the same data type. If one of the operand should not have the same data type, it will throw the unsupported operand type error. So it is saying that the unsupported operand type for plus, one is integer and one is a string, so both the operand should be of same data type. So now next, moving towards the multiplication one, you can see over here multiplication is basically used for multiplying two operands or the two values, and the output of these two, 10 and 5, should be 50. We all know that. And the other feature of this multiplication in Python, so this is the feature in Python only. Okay, so here what I'm doing, one of my operand is string, like A is a string and B is a numeric. Now what it is doing, it is printing 10 5 times. That means this particular multiplication symbol is for replication also. Okay, so we are printing 10 over 5 times, so for repetition. So basically multiplication is for multiplying and for repetition also, these having two features. Then minus, moving towards minus, simple, it is subtracting and taking out the difference. You can see over here these are very simple things. Okay, now we have covered almost all the operators. Now moving towards the first we'll go towards the division and then exponential and floor division. So first move on towards the division. Let's take a look. We have A is equals to 10 and B is equals to 2, and I just want to divide it like A divided by B. So I think you all of you know about this symbol, and this is the division symbol, and it will divide both the values, like 10 is divided by 2 and it is giving us 5. Why it is 5.0? Because whenever we divide two values, it change it into the float by default. Okay, so that's why it is giving 5.0. Now moving towards this is the division symbol or the division operator. After that, just copying these and paste it over here. What we will do, just change the value of B as 3, and here I'm using floor division. Now you just see what is going on after using the floor division. A is 10 and B is 3. When dividing 10 by 3, the result will be 3 point something something something. So it truncate all the things after point, and it will give the value before the decimal. So the value is 3. Okay, so this is called the floor division. Okay, fine. So it will give us only the integer part of the floating point number, and it will truncate all the values after the decimal. Okay, and after that we have covered almost all the things, and two things are still remaining, modulus and exponentiation. Let's move towards the exponentiation, like A equals to 2 and B equals to 2, and I just want to take the power of A by 2. Means if I said A double star B, it means 2 to the power 2. So here I have to just print it, print. So 2 to the power 2 is 4. If I just want to say 3 to the power 2, it is saying 9, and if it is saying 5 to the power 2, it is saying 25 now, and so on. I think you can understand what these double star is doing. So now the last one is remaining. The last one is the modulus one, and let's take a look. Again, A is equals to let's say example 20, and B is equals to let's say 4. And if I want to take the mod of these two, I just print. I'm taking the mod like A mod B. Sorry, it's percentage. The symbol is percentage and B. So what it is giving, let's say it is giving us 0. Why it is giving us 0? Because it's 4 5s are 20 and the remainder is 0. So it is giving us 0 because modulus is giving us the remainder. So let's take the example of 3. So it will be clear to you. If I say 3, the remainder is 2. Okay, so mod will give you the remainder, double star will give you the power. This floor division will give you the integer value only and truncate the remaining value after the decimal point. And if I use division, it will divide it, and by default it will convert the value into the float.
Till now, we have covered till arithmetic operators. In coming sessions, we'll cover other operations also. If you want to refer the documentation, if you want to study by your own self, you can refer these links. These are the links of python.org. You can go to the documentation in that, and you can also refer the tutorials over there. Examples are also given over there. So you can study from these links. And thank you for watching the video. We'll meet again in the next session, in the next video. Thank you again.